Alright, what's up guys? So, I guess this will be the start of part 2 of the jumbo shrimp rigger build. So, I'm getting ready to make some food and I'm sharing my workspace with my dinner table, so I kind of gotta strategize in that. I'm not about to make some food, but I wanted to show this before I take everything off and start working on the next steps. So, I used some common household items to weigh these down. This is actually an old wood planer from my grandfather. I think it's from his dad. It's a super old thing. It actually works though. Got a couple of those I inherited, but use some old spare tile to weigh down the bottom lid or bottom deck. Taped it down. I thought tape would be good enough, but it was still kind of bowing up here, so put this to kind of support the bottom and then down on the top. So we got a good seam, good tight seam. Still got to peel the tape off of there, but it looks good. This, I think. Oh, the other issue I ran into. So I almost screwed up the transom. I kind of combined a couple steps. I thought I could put these two halves together and put the transom on at the same time and just kind of tape it together, but this was actually a little wider. You can kind of see the seam there. It fits tight. It's got a nice tight square joint now, but I had to fill in a little bit there. And down on the corners, I just made sure to just goop it and make sure the epoxy's holding there. You can probably see the gap there. A little bit of a gap. Oh, that's not a gap. That's the shining. That's the epoxy shining. Yeah, that would be a very that'd be a horrible gap. But I used the finishing resin, 2 coats on the inside, inside of the bottom deck and the inside of the skeleton to waterproof it, and it's just looking good. It's nice strong fuselage. So I'm gonna start cleaning this stuff up. Next step, I still gotta file these down to size. I haven't worked on those since the last video, and I'm gonna file those down, put those on, maybe start working on the sponsons. I might start putting hardware in, I'm not sure, but we'll see. I'll stitch this together with the next couple steps. Alright, so I have the strips down to the size they need to be. Some little marks there, they're close, but I would just file down for 2 passes or so, 2 or 3 passes, and then check with the ruler. Another 2 or 3 passes, check with the ruler, that kind of way. They fit good where they need to go, so I'm gonna get the epoxy ready, run the epoxy on there, and then clamp them as we're going down. And I did find the gap on here. So when I was laying this up, I had it turned over with the weights on it, so that made the epoxy run down to the top. So I had to sand some off of the top corner there, and that made a gap. Let's see it. There, big old gap right there. So I'll have to fill that little spot in when I mix up this epoxy. I just wanted to show real quick, I forgot to show in the last clip that I got some wood varnish yesterday, so I'm going to wood varnish the outside. I was thinking about doing the inside, but I think with the 2 coats of the finishing resin it should be watertight. And I got some mixing cups in. I went through all my soda cans and Italian ice cups. I still got my mixing sticks and my foam. I've got plenty more foam to cut up, but I wanted to get some cups. This was like $8 for 30 cups and 2 ounces. I'll try to remember to link it in the description there. And after my doctor's appointment today, I went by the dollar store, got some more foam brushes, foam dabbers, and this is going to be for the varnish. It'll help that, laying that, it'll be better than that little tiny piece. I mean, I guess I could cut a bigger piece, but $2, it makes it easier. And I got my other kit. I had this one in about a week ago, and I opened it up. Did I tape it back up? No, I didn't tape it back. But I opened it up, make sure everything's good, nothing's cracked up. So I got that and another backup kit that just came in today. So 3 shrimp riggers. Alright, just set some more epoxy. Got the strips clamped and drying. I had to fiddle around with the clamps a little bit to get them to sit down right, but the seam is, that little gap in that seam was bothering me. On the top part, I can't get it to go down any further, but it looks like it's going to be a nice tight joint, and the varnish should seal it up when I finish. And I added some more epoxy down in that gap that was there in the corner and all along the bottom and on the outside, and then I wiped it with a towel so I don't have to sand too much later. The more you wipe, the less you gotta sand. And I wiped the little excess that was, you know, from applying to the little seam there. So I'll let this set up and work on something else. Okay, and we're back. Got these pieces here. I used some of these cuticle board stir sticks just to make some round supports. You see that completes the little thing there, and that should be enough space to fit 4S packs with the boom tubes, because I test fit a 4S pack and I'm like, oh, it kind of squeezes in there on its own, but no, it's not going to have room with the boom tube there. So it's looking good so far. These little strips are actually, it's a pretty strong joint. I kind of wiggle it a little bit just to see if it's flimsy or not, and it's pretty good. So I went along and used some of this old scrap wood off of the tree, cut them to length, filed them down, and I have one side cut off because you're going to epoxy down and then peel the tape off once it's done. But I have them filed down to where there's no outward pressure on this, because that could be bad. We want the epoxy holding it together, not pressure. And transom piece. Oh no, I want this piece facing out because I got this sand mark here, finally marked here, but you can see once I get that all epoxy down, it should sit close to level. I thought that was level, but yeah, it's pretty darn close. We can move that around, line it up nice. There we go. That's better. And that's level, and that's level. So after that, I think I'm gonna wait to put the top lid on. I test fitted that already to make sure it didn't lose any length or anything, and it's good to go. What else? Oh, the nose piece, that's the only thing left. So you can see there's a little ridge there. I'm gonna have to make it a little taller to have the hump look right, but no big deal. It should be nice when it's done. So something I just thought of, because in these kind of things you gotta try and think 1-2 steps ahead. Before I mix up the epoxy for these little joints, I'm gonna make 2 of these and join those together and let those cure and set, so that way I can tomorrow I can start working on the bottom pieces and hopefully get the sponsons done tomorrow. Alright, back with the last little cut here, I think, for the night. I'm gonna let this stuff cure and set, and we'll do some more stuff tomorrow. You can see here how all the joints epoxied, and it was kind of a puzzle, mental puzzle, to figure out how to do the 2 sides correctly, a left and a right. I know that's an issue, but I just used the stick this time. I didn't use any of the dabbers or any brushes, just used the stick to kind of work it in the corners there and not gob it on too much. And these joints are looking good. Kind of just spread it on there, spread it on the sides, and then plopped it down, and then kind of filled in where on the top there where it pushed down. That one I might have to sand down a little bit, sticking up a little bit, but that's no problem. And that joint looks good. Plenty of space for 4S. This thing's gonna be nuts. Alright, so yeah, stay tuned for part 3. Thanks for watching.